Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome to the fan forum. West Ham, you know. I gotta go that way. Whoa, KD in the basement. We're there.
Come on, basement settings.
What a win! What a win! I think this fan forum is going to be really interesting. We got Kev coming through very shortly. We got Alex coming through very shortly, and we got Junior coming through as well. And we've also got you, yeah. And and I think it's going to be really interesting because that game was mad. That game was weird. There were so many things in that game that were wrong. There were so many things that were right. And most importantly, we got the 3 points. But you take it away. How you feel?
There you go, Flex. I'm not going to be one of them people to rub when I say something correct in people's faces, but I think it's time. I said we need to no Fred. We need to prepare for the weekend game. I mean the game in the week, Tuesday. Play Pogba. A lot of people in the comment section, I saw you. What do you mean, Pogba? I'm tired. And even the first half, Pogba weren't nothing to be excited about. He wasn't. But as he does, the Messiah comes on in Bruno. Yeah. Sees Pogba running. And it's just simple. Pog. I've been preparing that one. Listen, I remember all my favorite players, did the madness. Everyone that's been under the microscope has finally showed us who they are. And I was literally, again, I questioned Ollie. Yeah. All right. How can I not do it? Wait, Flex. Shout out your crew, bro.
Hold tight defense gang, man. Hold tight everyone in the free seats as well. Big up you guys.
Done no. I drop a bomb for them and let me just shout out my thing as well. Listen, Durex gang, we see you. Now that's enough of that. Yeah. I was questioning Ollie, bro. Them substitutions at halftime, I said, look at this man. Doesn't know what he's doing, yeah? All those players were involved in the goals. So really, truly, I need to sit down. I had no right to stand up right now. Right now, it's just, I'm in the chair FC, bro. Do you know what I mean? But I'm really happy. This is 9 wins away from home, bro.
Crazy.
We're 4th in the league. Only 2020 can do this. Seriously, like this is crazy.
True. And do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, oh, look at us, first couple of 1,000 fans back and we shit ourselves already. That's what I was thinking. You can kind of hear little fans and that, and all of a sudden, but then even that wouldn't have been justified because actually we've been going down in the games, like conceding first in these away games. We did it against Everton. We did it against Southampton, and we've done it again today. Marine says, Flex, are you the Rodney Dangerfield of the United stand? No respect. I'm going to be deadly honest with you. I don't know who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Neither do I.
So what I'm going to do right now.
You're going to ask someone white, innit? Are you going to ask someone white?
No. It's an American comedian. He's an American comedian.
Oh, why don't I know who he is?
Exactly. There you go. That's worse on you. That's worse on you. I don't know, but I'm not the Rodney Dangerfield of United stand. I don't.
Shout out Rodney though. Big up yourself wherever you are.
Yeah, big up. Maybe I'm just an idiot for not knowing who he is, but we got a comedian here and he don't even know who he is. So yeah. Damn. Anyway, but listen, you see the changes that were made though. Yeah. I said at the beginning, right, or before, I was like, you know what? I like the team, and the reason why I like the team is because actually we've been crying out for being able to rest players and bringing quality in. So really, what we did is we rested for whatever reason. Fred,
never rest him again.
Yeah, we'll get there. We rested Fred. We rested who else didn't play? Bruno and Rashford. Yeah. And for those 3, we brought in Greenwood, very good player. Van der Beek, very good player, and Pogba, very good player. So I'm looking at it from a point of we've been asking for this, and if we keep playing Rashford all the time and he's got his sore shoulder, we're going to say, oh, Ollie, all he's doing. Bruno, he's got a swollen foot. He never gets the time off. He's been playing like 30 games in a row. That's what I want. Yeah. But is it like we just can't do it then?
Bro, listen.
Oh, my God, Leeds are 1-0 up as well. Wow, okay.
What? Leeds are winning?
About Patrick Bamford, everyone's saying. Wow.
Come on. Listen. I'm telling you right now, we need Bruno. All the other stuff, like he is the player. He's the player that people question him, saying, "Is the team? Did he slow down the team?" People have been chatting rubbish, actually. To be honest, Bruno showed why he needs to play. Forget about Leeds, bruv.
Sorry.
Bruv.
Oh, it's because we've got game in hand, innit? So, you know, I'm just trying to get involved.
No, literally, it's like you want to be upset. The first half was so crazy. I was depressed. First half, I was depressed. I'm not going to lie. I even went on to listen to you and Mark and that. And I was like, let me just be depressed with you, man. Yeah. And then, and then after, second half started and we just became a different team. But the people that I want to make sure, as we get other people coming and talking about the match today, I want to shout out is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Immediate, like he saved us.
Ricky's man of the match he was today. It wasn't even matter. It was Wan-Bissaka.
Ricky gave him man of the match.
That was my reaction.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to my man of the match is different. I'm had to give it to Rashford, my nephew. Yeah, it has to go to him because finally we're seeing when he came on running, and the killer is everyone keeps saying left-hand side is not his. He ain't got no chance. This, that, and the other. Listen, Rashford after Bruno, Rashford is our next best player. I don't care what anyone else says. I've said it. That's it. Rashford is the man.
He done that Rashford thing where he scuffed that chance, and I'm like, this is what I mean. But then he does the other Rashford thing, which I also know, which is score straight away with an even difficult shot and dink it. Let me read these super chats in and then bring the guys in, man. Tatiana says, now Van der Beek played, Pogba played, Cavani played, still fans are moaning. And there's loads of super chats here. So I'm just forward down and make sure I get them read out. Marine says Rodney Dangerfield is a whole act was about having no respect. He's a funny guy. I meant no disrespect. You guys are both awesome. Big up yourself, Marine. I didn't know who he was. I just didn't know who he was. Yeah. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Sayek says, I'm 27 years old. I sleep at 3 a.m. during match days. Almost half my life now. I would start for Man United because I'm more of a passion merchant than Scott. All love. Be interested to see what you think about Scott McTominay. Bill says today we saw pre-Bruno ball and Bruno ball. Mad game. Yeah, I think that's very true as well. And Lebu says, why do we keep looking for a partner for Maguire, but all other centre backs look better with Lindelof? Second statement: I'm Ollie out because of the Van der Beek sub. You got it with Van der Beek. Well, to be fair, Ollie got it right in the end because and Ronald says, I don't want any negativity on Ollie's name today. None. Pogba and Pony didn't work out. Ollie.
No, sometimes when people crave like that, you have to respect them. Man said Ollie in the midfield. Let's go.
Didn't work out. Ollie trusts his players who played later. Bruno at the wheel. And the last one, I think we've got everything. Okay, let's get the guests in. Let's bring in man like Alex. He is here. Let's bring in man like Kev. Okay, guys, you are in. Kev's buzzing. Do you know what? Kev's got his arms up in the air. We'll start with Kev. How you doing, bro?
I'm very well, mate. Very well after that.
Brilliant. Was it brilliant, Kev?
It wasn't brilliant. If I'd have spoke to you at half time, I would have been like, what the fuck is going on here, man? What a load of horse shit. But do you know, the main criticism of Solskjaer has always been that he doesn't change his team. He takes far too long. The game slips away from us. He's done it twice now. He's done it against Southampton and he's done it today. He's made them big changes at half time. But for me, no Bruno, no party. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? It's like you're throwing a party. There's no beer. There's no music. Bruno turns up. Beer, ghetto blaster. The party starts. And
do you know what the maddest thing is, Kev? Yeah. Do you know what the maddest thing is, right? And I had it inside, and I wasn't going to lay it out, but because you just said that, I'm going to be honest, right? When we rested Bruno, in my head, I was like, the headline for my match reaction, because we're going to win without Bruno, is going to be no Bruno, no problem. And I was, you're right, Kev, you're right, because
you can change it to no party now. There you go. There's your line.
Yeah. On Henry says, Bruno is the difference maker. He should be captain. I want to bring Alex in here. Alex, before Pogba scored that goal, right, which isn't a normal goal, yeah. Did you think that we was going to go on to do that because, like Kevin's saying, that the Bruno effect, no Bruno, no party, or was it because actually the goals change games, and when you score a worldie like that, it just kind of changed what was happening? Because I'm not going to lie, before that went in, I was still sitting in my chair with Bruno on the pitch, with Rashford on the pitch, and I was like, I can't see it changing. And then bang, that just changed the game. Or is it like Kev's saying, no Bruno, no party? It was because of that.
I think as soon as Pogba's goal went in, I felt 100% confident we'd win the game. But when it was 1-0 at half-time, West Ham I thought they aren't the type of team that we could even get back into it, because I assumed that they'd literally just shut up shop and it would end 1-0. And I was talking to my mate who supports West Ham, and he was saying he doesn't get why they started pushing forward at 1-0. Because I think if we're not the best, we're at least one of the best teams in the world at counter-attacking. So any team that gives us any sort of space in behind them.
I've just seen Werner miss a crazy chance. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I'm listening.
Any sort of team that gives us any sort of space behind us is just going to get absolutely ruined. And that's exactly what happened again. So I don't know what Moyes was playing at, but again, it just shows like the impact of Bruno, and it is kind of scary that we are essentially a one-man team. Obviously, we have players that can do the thing, like Rashford's obviously getting a load of goals. Which, by the way, again, remember the other day that everyone was criticising me because I said, "What has Martial done to start left wing over Rashford?" Well, who's laughing now?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even put players against each other. Anytime someone says something good about Rashford, I get excited because I just want people to understand we are so lucky to have a player like this at our club. He's literally everything that you could want in a player. He's Manchester born and bred as well. Like, what more do you want?
I was going to say he's from Manchester as well. Rashford is red.
He's living the dream.
I don't get what everyone has against him. If you put up his numbers from that position in his age group, compare it with everyone else in his age group, and he's up there with like the best in the world, like numbers wise. So like for 23-year-old and under, and under. So I don't get, literally. I think it's just again like what KG said about playing the players off each other. The people that are hating Rashford, it's because they love Martial, and then vice versa. The people that are constantly slating Martial, it's because they love Rashford.
MT90 says, great to see Lee Mack and Cavani on the show. Kev, you ever had the Lee Mack comparison?
We need to stop with these lookalikes, I swear to God. I've gone from Teabag from Prison Break, Peter Crouch, Gary Neville's love child. Now I've got Lee Mack and Alex Tevez. It's the maddest mix I've ever seen in my life.
Kev, you're lucky. They just call me anyone black. So anyone... I've been called Lukaku. I've been called Benoit. Anyone big and black.
No, but you do actually look like them, though.
Bro, how? Bro?
You do look like Mark Henry, Lukaku.
Look at him reading them off. Look at him. What a dickhead.
Anyway, Kev, are we though, Kev, a one-man team though? In all honesty, is it? Because like Alex was saying, the game did change when the wonder strike went in. But then you saw the passes that Bruno was putting in. Mata, can we actually, you know what, Kev? Actually, scrap that question. Mm-hmm. Can I have some respect on Mata, please? Because I keep telling Mark, I tweeted him straight away. I don't normally do that kind of stuff. I said, apologize immediately, Mark, because Mata is not washed up.
No, is he? Mata's got it up here. We're used to, pace up front. We look at this Man United team. And a lot of people would have looked at Mata coming on and thought, what's all this about? That pass for Rashford, how many other players on that pitch could have done that? It was just unbelievable. But Mata, like I say, he's not the quickest, but you know what you get from him. Ricky bangs on about him saying he'll track back. He does the defensive work. But that pass was just worth it alone. Anybody that can diss one Mata and say he's, like I say, he's got it up here. You can't buy that. That's just experience for me. He's class, one Mata. I absolutely adore him.
Alex, what are you saying? I mean, Mata came on and I'm not going to say he changed the whole game, but he was part of the goals and he was brilliant. Yeah.
I always find normally that he doesn't make much of a difference off the bench and he's better when he starts. But today that pass was absolutely brilliant. So it is good to have this strength and depth. He seems to have a bit of like a renaissance this season compared to last season. I think like we were worried when we gave him the new contract, like, oh, what are we giving him a multi-year contract for when he's like this old already? But he's showing that he is having an impact and he can still have an impact in certain games.
Yeah.
Totally. I think so. Adam says that Mata assist is finer than Miguel. And there was another one here that said Mata isn't done. I just saw that as well. And that's just it. I just want to kind of just talk about that because, look, I always say in the right games and the right moments against the right teams, when he plays with the better players like a Bruno or like the Pogbas or slipping in Rashford, who's got great movement, it's a recipe for success. It is, because he always finds the right pass. His weight of pass is brilliant. His choice of pass is brilliant. And his decision-making is brilliant. So all of them ingredients mixed with good players around him is only going to create chances. And like Kev said, off the ball, he's brilliant. KG, I want to ask you this. Solskjaer, right? And this isn't to try and bring anything negative to him. I just want to talk about it.
It's no way. We won 3-1. There's no negativity today.
100%. Exactly. That's what I want to say. Does he kind of silence people from this in terms of, look, I'm just doing my thing. Yes, we were poor in the first half, and yes, we were lucky not to be 3-0 down. That's West Ham's problem, not ours. Yeah. But I saw it was going wrong, and I made changes straight away because I knew they needed changing, and I won the game 3-1.
Yeah, I think you have to praise him because.
Or is it luck? Or was it luck because Pogba scored a world?
No, you can't call it luck. You can't call it luck. And when there's one thing I want to go back to. You see, when you talk about Bruno, it's not that we're a one-man team. He makes the team play better. I don't know what it is about him, but everyone raises their game when he comes on the pitch. If that you'll call that a talisman, then. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a talisman amongst the team that they just know I should make that run over there. He's gonna find me. Now, obviously with the Donnies and stuff, they don't know him yet, and they don't know him to save them yet. So I don't know if they bought that trust in his game. Well, they don't know his game just as it stands. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to respect that Bruno element. But let's talk on the early subs. I've always said Oli, 60th minute, 70th. Even the last game that he played, we're upset because the subs are just late. You know, now he's like, I'm gonna make it half time. This is the second time we saw that. He done with Southampton.
Yeah, Cavani.
Wait, he has to look. He says, and this is what I want to see from Oli, because let's be honest, he spent a lot of time on the bench analyzing the game, where he can come on and score one of those cheeky Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goals. Why he's known as a superstar. He can look at a team and say, you know what? I see they're not covering the runs over there. I see some freedom over here. Let's go. Let's exploit it. That's what he's supposed to do. Now, I'm not going to call it luck because if you come back 3 times in, he's come back 3 times in a space. We've been a goal down and he keeps coming back.
It's more than 3 times, it's 5 times now, isn't it? The last 5 away games.
You can't call it.
He's done it, exactly.
See, we can't call it like we can, but then it's just that, can we start in it? Today was almost like what our season looks like, where it's inconsistent. We had a horrible first half, then we just get better. You know what I mean? Hopefully we just see a difference from Oli where, because against Man City, we can't afford to do that. I kind of like, them that were
against Leipzig either.
Bowen was doing a madness. Bowen, I was looking at Tellers thinking, raw, do we need Shaw?
I thought the same.
For the first time I was him, I was like, oh, sugar. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully, I want to hear from you lot as well, but what's happened and why do people hate McTominay all of a sudden? Or is it just
hold that thought? I'm going to read these super chats out and we'll get the guys' thoughts on that. Yasser says, KG, this is your last chance to beat Oli in. I love you, bro, but when Oli lifts the English Premier League title, man, jeez.
I'm coming back if he wins it.
If he wins it,
I'll be at the party with shamelessly drinking, and I always knew was gonna do it.
Cold Water says, I'm not hating on Martial. You never see him make the runs like Rashi has been doing. You got to make those diagonal runs as a striker. Bruno, a baller. Blake the third says, people wanted Pogba and Greenwood off at half time. Oli knows you keep players like those on. We should stop criticizing before the game is finished. Loads of super chats here, guys. Hang on a minute. Nathan says, Bruno getting all the love. Cool, but Rashford was the key for this one. His movement and pace frightened West Ham, so big up Marcus. I definitely agree with that.
Definitely.
Chat there. Mike says, take it easy. The only reason he made the subs like that was injury. Cavani and Donny are hurt. Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were. Is that true? Did he say that?
Yeah. Yeah, he said it after the game. But I don't know about Van der Beek, but with Cavani, he said it because I was saying at halftime, what the hell is he thinking? I was ready to come on this show and be like, how has he kept Martial on and took Cavani off? But he said Cavani was injured. So.
Okay. Ash G says, I'm glad you lot put in respect on Ollie's name. He gave us back our resilience. He made the sub. It's about time people start recognizing. And there's so many super chats, guys. Read that one. Cool. Basically, Kev, KG was saying the McTominay situation. I didn't think he played very well. Mark was very critical of him. He said he's basically a bench player. He thinks he shouldn't be playing. It's not good enough to play, but for some reason, Ollie loves him. What's your take on him and his performance today?
I didn't think it was his best performance in a United shirt, but I think Solskjaer trusts him. I think he trusts him a lot more than certain other players in that United team. And he went through a good run at United. In alongside Fred, I think they complement each other very well going forward. McTominay, I think, will be a first teamer. I don't see him as a squad player or anything. It's not too long ago he scored that goal against Man City, having the game of his life and that. So, no, I like McTominay. I will not slag him off. It wasn't long ago, again, that a lot of people were saying future Man United captain. Yes, wears his heart on his sleeve. The way he played against PSG, he got into that little battle with Neymar. I like that. He was winding him up, but he never, rose to the bait. Obviously, Fred did and got himself sent off. But McTominay, I think he's got it up there himself. Yeah, I thought he handled Neymar quite well midweek.
Before I come to you, Alex, Ronald says, Pony, Pogba and Donny, or Dogba, Donny and Pogba, or Dread, Donny and Fred.
I love that.
No space for McSauce. Let him be at McDonald's. No space in the team. I think that the last bit's harsh. I wouldn't agree with that. And today, this is from Ronald. So today proved that Pogba could not do it alone. This is why we bought Bruno. Interesting comments. And I think we're good there. Alex, what's your thoughts on McTominay before we move on from that?
You need to ask yourself, Kev. You're saying that he should be a first teamer and everything, but would he get into any other of the so-called big sixes?
I didn't say he's a first teamer. I said long term he will. I can see him being a first teamer.
Oh, okay. Because at the moment I just find him so average. You need this players like your McTominays and your Lingards in your team, because not everyone's going to be a starter. Not everyone's going to be happy just sitting on the bench. And I think players like McTominay will be, but I just find he's decent defensively, but I find on the ball he always tries to play it sideways. Anytime he tries to pass it forward, if you look at his pass map, it just always seems to go to an opposition player, which obviously today that was every single player, not just McTominay, but just in general. And I think we just need someone, and I know people will then come back and say about Fred is the same, but I feel like if you have to choose one of them, I think it's night and day that Fred is infinitely better in my opinion.
Agree with that. I would choose Fred over him every day of the week. The way that Fred's been playing anyway. Again, let's forget midweek against PSG.
But I think we even missed the bite of Fred.
I'm going to go a bit different with that, because I actually think you can trust McTominay. I think, obviously, he's not a leader yet at all, but I think that part of his game, as we said, it was only a little while ago when we're talking about him for Man United captain. What's great
Who was this?
There was literally games.
Jeez.
And he was talking. He's like, I like the way he talks. He fully gets it. And there was a time when you couldn't even drop him for the midfield until he got the injury. Now I feel that there's times in games I feel he's gonna be like what Fletcher was to us. We'll respect him when he's gone. We're respecting him.
All right, I'm gonna go a little bit different with this.
Go ahead.
I think we want him to be like a Fletcher because he's that type of player. Because he plays for Scotland,
because he's white and basically
not at all.
and I just don't think he will ever be that. I think personally, I like his energy. I do agree with Kev. He has got that passion. He has got determination, and he can in certain games, especially you look at the PSG game. He can play in big games. There's a spot for Scott in certain games, but in terms of starting games week in week out. I don't see him as he doesn't have enough attributes to me. I think he is poor on the ball. I think he makes some bad decisions. His best attributes is his stature, is his engine, and his willingness, which is no disrespect. You can go on to have an amazing career like that. I'm gonna
have to jump in on it. So like it or not, even why was Fletcher one of the most used people in the important games? Because Fergie could trust him. Roma, you got to think of all these Champions League.
He's not in the league.
He's like Ji-sung Park as well for Man United. Fergie used him in all the big European games because he knew what he was getting from him.
So this is the thing though, because I remember I always have the shirt of the unsung hero. That's been my thing. That's how I've supported the team from the beginning. When I was banging on about Fletcher, everyone told me he's dead. They'll see him in the Champions League squad and they didn't want to see him. As soon as he finished, everyone's like, "Oh, Fletcher's amazing." Carrick, another one.
Yeah, but Fletcher's
Carrick was
Fletcher. Let me tell you the difference. Yeah, why McTominay could never be Fletcher. Fletcher on the ball, the way he used the ball is levels. You know, don't let Fletcher's engine and because he's got the run around thing distract you from the fact that the guy's actually a baller. Like McTominay can't see him
Coming. It's young. I'm saying he's coming. Remember, he's young. Just all I'm saying is, give it time because these players that go under the radar and stuff, and they're easy to point the finger at and hate. Yeah, I'm saying these players. There's a reason why they get into the team. There's a reason why each man.
I agree. There's a spot for him. I do agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. So I know everyone's like, "Oh, don't compare Fletcher." I know it's not because of the Scottish thing. I'm literally saying that it's the trusting. Even for Mourinho, the people that say whatever you want to say about Mourinho came and said that guy is the player.
But what you're saying is for like the big games, which I don't think anyone really has a problem for the big games with our style of play. He can win it back and then we can hit teams on the counter. But when we go against a team like a West Ham or someone, or like these lesser teams, I think you need people that are better on the ball.
I see where you're coming from. Dewsby says Scott was sideways and backwards all first half. In the second half, he played better, including 3 great early passes. Why the delay?
But it wasn't just McTominay in that first half. Let's not beat around the bush. United were awful.
Anyone could have got hooked. Anyone could have got hooked.
Any one of them. Yeah. Anyone.
I definitely agree with that because, like, I even tweeted at half time because you know when you look on Twitter and you get a general consensus, everyone, not I say everyone, that's a bit rude of me. A lot of people were just coming after Pogba, or a lot of people were just going in on McTominay. A lot of people were going in on Green, and I was just like, if you can't see that every single one of them players played shit in that half, then I don't want to hear it. Like, it was just a really, really bad half. The only person you could say who didn't deserve to be hooked was probably the keeper.
Wan-Bissaka as well, I thought.
And Wan-Bissaka. Other than that, you know, Tellez was getting done by Bowen. Lindelof and Maguire on the ball was horrendous in the first half. McTominay was horrendous on the first half. Pogba was horrendous in the first. They were all bad, so bad. And so was Martial, so was Cavani, and so was
people are chatting rubbish, by the way. I'm seeing in the free seats, they're trying to say McTominay is like 26 and stuff and all these different ages. Bro, he's 23, fam. Shut your mouth, fam.
KG have to do the quick Google check. Mousy Dread holds out the latest member of the United Stand Club as well. And Anthony says, big ups to the boys. Go watch Caddyshack for Dangerfield Classic. I'm going to have to check out this Dangerfield. Am I missing? Kev, do you know who Dangerfield is, this person?
Not a bloody clue.
Do you know, Alex?
No. Right, it cracked me up when KG's like, "Are you going to go ask someone Mike?" Because that's the exact same thing I thought he was going to. That's the exact same thing I thought you were going to do.
Overtalk Mike counterpart.
Bruno is the best attacking mid in Europe. Rashi is class. McSauce is spoiled milk. Oh, see, look, no ratings for McTominay again. Bill says, I don't remember people gassing up Fletcher as a baller when he first started breaking into the team. His legend grew near the end. So basically, you feel that maybe, I'm guessing from what you're saying there, Bill, is you feel that McTominay can do that. Fair enough. Well, that's you're entitled to that. I hear where you're going with that. Have we done everything there? And yeah, we have done that. Yeah. Kev, Paul Pogba. We said it would be a big game for him today. He has not been playing very well, and it was a big moment for him. I know you've been critical of Paul Pogba. Like you always say, though, what I do know you always say is if he plays well and he wants to be here, great. If he doesn't, see you later. That's you're very black and white with that. How, the goal he scored today, does that just show you what he's capable of and why you get frustrated with him? Or did you see it as not really interested, mate? That's the first time he's done that in ages. So keep him out the team. Or how did you see that?
No, I mean, when I seen his name on the team sheet, like a lot of us as United fans, you'd have thought, this team looks all right on paper. Obviously, at half-time, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, man, this is awful. But I'm not... Every one of them players was bad in the first half. Paul Pogba needed that goal. Midweek, he was very close against PSG to scoring an absolute worldie as well, with that volley that just went over the bar. It's just fine lines. I'm just hoping now that that's gone in. Pogba, he could just use this as a springboard to go on at Man United. We all want to see. We know what he's capable of. We've seen it at Juventus. You've seen what he can do. But part of me, again, sort of looks and thinks, we're getting near to January, the transfer window's opening. Is he... I know, but I'm going down that route where I'm like, is he going to start stepping it up now because he's, looking for his exit? But do you know what I mean? I'm just being a bit cynical there and looking at it that way. But listen, as long as he's doing it in the red shirt United, I don't give a shit, man. As long as United win.
Alex, happy for Pogba? Well, obviously happy for Pogba.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say, was you pissed off he scored? That's not what I'm trying to say. But yeah, basically, how do you see it, man? How do you see the Pogba situation? It was a big game for him today.
It's a difficult one. Obviously, he did really well with the goal. I think he has such world-class ability, but he just like this team seems to be so inconsistent. But I feel like at the end of the day, number one, I don't get why people are like sticking up for the Real Madrid comments, because it applies to anyone. If Green would say, if Bruno was to say, I think if you don't want to be at the club, then you just shouldn't be here. But he's obviously a brilliant player, and I was like saying after the goal, I wish we could find a way that we'd obviously need a world-class number 6 to do it, to fit him and Bruno together in like a 4-3-3. Because if we could get them on the same wavelength, I think you just have to move Bruno a little bit deeper so that they're both like number 8s rather than Bruno at the 10. But can you imagine if they built up like a partnership and we had a world-class number 6 holding behind them, how good we can potentially be?
Do you think maybe Ollie's holding out for that? KG, do you think that's the long-term plan? Or
bro, remember when I went mad? Remember that last season, yeah, you was upset with me, very upset, and I understand, because I was trying to get the money for Fred, because I thought he was the only one worth something, yeah, to go in and get a real defensive midfielder that can allow us to play this game, because really and truly we'll continue having these issues. Because Donny van der Beek, Ollie doesn't trust Donny van der Beek next to inner 2, not at all. So you got to say to yourself, well, if we had a total destroyer like all over the pitch, we could actually now play the way we want to play. Because I believe Ollie actually wants to do this. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is what we need going forward, but we're not going to do it because it's Man United. You know what I mean? Like we got a better chance of bringing back Fosu Mensah, and I don't know where that guy is. I don't know what happened to him, but I'm just saying this is how bad it gets sometimes. What's going on in the free seats? Let me try and read a couple free seat stuff. Yeah, there you go. Gav, you got Bruno on the shit. Right, they're calling you Bruno. Wow, Kev. There you go. Come on, free seats. Don't let me down. Marshall out. What do you lot think about that? There's a Christmas shop behind you, tellers.
Here we go with the tellers ones now as well. Let's go.
Joshua says Scott turns 24 on Tuesday. You know he's starting against Red Bull. Real talk. Mourinho loved him and Ollie loves him. There's got to be something. I think the biggest thing they do like about Scott, which you have to give to him, is his attitude, his professionalism, and he gives you that level of intensity in his game. And I think whether you can work on someone's ability on the ball or decision making, but I think what they see with Scott McTominay is a really good base to work off. Athletic, can get around the pitch, quite tall, decent in the air, can run around. I can work on, okay, get your touch and give it to so-and-so. Give it to
He can pass, you know. He's not a defensive midfielder. I'm telling you, and he can shoot.
Bro, because he's not a straight CDM. I do agree, because that's my problem with him. He isn't that.
So, like, I think we not that good. Again, as he is 23, 24 in a few days, we can still give him some time. We can at least offer him the time we gave to Lingard.
I've got to say this. Smash the like on the video as well. Most importantly, subscribe if you're new to United Stand. We're only 33 subs away from 913,000 subscribers. The road to a milli. The road to a milli is on, yeah? So make sure you guys do that. We're really close. Let's talk Martial. Because you know what? He's in a bad patch of form, and you know he's not playing very well. Now he's got an injury. Kev, are you worried, or you're like, not really, mate? That means Greenwood plays there. Problem solved. Martial's got to step it up. How do you see it?
I've got to look at it after the second half today. Greenwood, great goal, and we're not struggling in that part of the field, are we? Really, I like Martial. I don't totally agree with the people that think that he's a great number 9. I don't see that as his position. I said it a few weeks on the show. I said the minute Cavani is fully fit, he's United's number 9. Forget Ighalo, Rashford. They're wide players. Martial's best position for me is coming off the left, like Henry did years ago. He is so much more effective coming off the left, terrorising defenders, winning penalties. He does all that. I don't see him as a number 9, but I'm worried he's out. We've got Greenwood, you know, we've got options up there. We can change it around. We could even play, you know, Rashford out there. We're sort of blessed with attacking options at the minute. But the main thing I would say is I want to see United spreading these goals out because we can't be heavily reliant on the likes of Bruno Fernandes.
I agree. That's got to be
check.
That's probably Drawty in the comments, or probably Mark. One of them. One of them. I'm not sure, but you're not being burgled. Don't worry. They're pulling your leg, mate.
Yeah.
Alex, are you worried about Martial?
Well, overall this season, I mean, he's obviously been getting a lot of stick, but I think his overall performances haven't been too terrible. It's just his finishing. Like, he's won quite a few penalties and he has looked dangerous in certain games. But today, I don't know what was up with him. I thought he was, like, when I was tweeted at halftime, like, why is Cavani coming off over Martial? I thought he was absolutely diabolical in this game. He was, like, one of the main culprits, losing the ball in, like, really easy situations. At the moment, am I worried? Like, you don't know, because he could come back into it. If he gets a goal, you don't know where his confidence will go. But we don't know also how bad this injury is. It looked like it could be quite a bad one, in the sense of like maybe like a few weeks out rather than being back the next day. And he was asking, that was another thing with Ollie, how we always say about playing players through injury. Martial was doing that, saying to come off, and he still made him play for like quite a while after that. So when the actual player is telling you to come off and he's still trying to play him through it. But like I said, with I think left wing is obviously his best position, but at the moment we're moving Rashford out right to play if we are going to accommodate the three of them, when Rashford's in better form. And to me, that doesn't really make sense. I'd personally rather play Greenwood out on the right and then Rashford on the left, and then let Martial try to force his way back into the team. But it seems that if Greenwood has a bad game, he'll get hooked off at half-time or whatever. Whereas with Rashford or Martial, they just get chance after chance. And Greenwood's not going to come back into form unless he gets chances as well.
Yeah, I think Greenwood, I'm not going to lie, I think Greenwood's back into form, actually. I think the game...
that was a brilliant goal.
The game that he played, come on, look at that goal. Again, another youngster.
He's the best finisher at that club.
It's
nobody comes close, man. Left foot, right foot. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
you can't show him onto a bad foot. As a defender, you'd be like, I'll show him onto his left, show him onto his right, bang, bang. You wouldn't know what his stronger foot was.
We've got Junior in. Big up Junior as well. I know Junior's going to be happy with the win, but we'll also have a lot of things to say as usual. So we'll come to you in a sec, Junior. Bill says McSauce snuffs out attacks before it becomes a big danger. So there is no real highlight tackles to show for, but he does his job really, really well. And Anish says, I believe in Martial, but then I also believe in Santa Claus.
that one is harsh. Do you know what? Before Junior does a madness year and makes me start to think about this whole win year, I'm going to say it right. Go on, Junior, do it.
There's not going to be a madness for me today. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, Junior, look, we come back and won the game. The boys have been saying that, you know what? Awful shocking in the first half. Nobody played well at all. And the subs could have been a whole host of players. We all kind of raised our eyebrows at the subs that he did make, which I think a lot of people did. But they went on to win the game 3-1, and the whole game changed when Pogba scored the banger. But how did you see it? Are you going to come and say, nah, man, it's luck from Ollie, man. It's luck. Or are you going to, how'd you see it?
I'm not going to say it's luck, right? I'll tell you what it is. And I was on about this earlier on today, even before the game even kicked off, because my little brother, he loves Solskjaer. He's saying that I'm ridiculous to beat Ollie out because he says, you said that because he finished third last season, you have to give him a chance. So you have to give him a chance. That's what my little brother said to me. So I says, yeah, but come on. With the squad that we've got and the squad that he's assembled, remember, when we employed Solskjaer, it was to steady the ship, get everything back going correctly and steering in the right direction. And he's done that. He's been superb with that. I mean, the squad is a lot better than it was under Mourinho. The team looks a lot happier. Everything's calm. But now we need to go on to that next step. And I don't think he's the man to take us that next level. But with the squad he's got, he's not going to lose his job with the squad he's got. It's impossible. The team is assembled. He's very strong. He's got options on the bench which we never had before. He's got everything we've got now is excellent, but we need that top level manager now to kick us on again. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
With the win today, though, because in the context, let me get my facts right. Yeah, Premier League table, we sit at them as it stands. We sit fourth, right?
3 points off.
And as it stands, we sit fourth. And I'm not going to talk about that thing we've got in the back pocket that we ain't used yet. But if that goes well, then we could be even higher. In the context of you can only do as good as the season you're in, we're about where we want to be, no?
But with the season, that's what has been. You know what? You can't look at the points on the table and say that, we're fourth, because it's been a rubbish league this season. Nobody's been consistent, and nobody's ran away with it like they're supposed to have done. Liverpool got slapped 7-1. You know what I mean? That would not happen.
Hold on. I got to interject. You're saying we can't look at the Premier League and think, what? Say that again.
No, don't. Now listen, this is what I mean, right? With the way the season has gone, right?
Yeah.
We had been consistent ourselves and beating the teams we're supposed to be in, like Crystal Palace at the beginning. We lost to Crystal Palace. Those teams, the league's been poor. Everybody's performing poor. This was our opportunity to win. I would have said we got no chance of winning the league this season, but the way the season has gone, we should be in the reckoning.
So so that's what I'm saying. We are in and around it with something in the back.
Yeah, we've been around it.
Like now, Solskjaer.
Junior, are we in a title race?
I don't want to say. I'm taking Junior out. I'm taking him out.
Can I just say something? Honestly, with like us at the start of the season as well, and like what Junior was saying about Crystal Palace, I think that the Crystal Palace game is such an unfair one really to judge on, because we had absolutely no preseason. We had that one game against Villa, but apart from that, we had no preseason, and Palace had played something like 8 preseason games leading up to it, so they're playing.
He's gone.
Yeah, your sound's gone.
Kev, let me ask you. Since we're getting onto that subject, Junior kind of took it there. So just quickly, Kieran Phillips says Maguire went to Greece and had a madness. When he was going through a bad patch, people got behind him. Now our player of the season is going through a bad patch. People want him out. I don't get it. Definitely,
Bruno's going through a bad patch.
Quality.
Adioli says, Ollie in, we are building a new team. See how long it took to top managers to build a team. Be patient. If we had we had Mourinho and LVG, it didn't work. Kev, are we in a title race then?
Do you know what, man? Over the years, man, you know, when you look, I don't want this getting clipped like by Liverpool fans and that. You know, when you think every year, it's going to be our year, it's going to be our, and you were like, yeah, you dickheads. And then obviously they won it last year, which was savage, like, but do you know, we're there. I keep saying, as long as we're there after Christmas, let's get through that busy period. We've got big games. We've got a derby against Man City and that. If we could just hang about there, then I think we can start to look at it and think, well, why not? You know, and, you know, Mourinho's in charge at Tottenham there, top at the minute. It's like he wasn't good enough for Man United, but he's good enough for, you know, Tottenham at the minute. He's doing a good job. And it's like, right, okay, well, if we're hanging in there, we're there, aren't we? It's, again, I don't want to go down that route of saying it's going to be our year, because I'm setting myself up for something.
Well, what I'll do is I'll stitch KG up instead. KG, are we in a title race?
Do that.
I'm seeing it. We're in a title race, bro.
There we go. Right.
Wait. This is important now. Anyone's allowed to, you know, in the 100 meters, a lot of people can run. Yeah. So we're in a race. Where we end up in the race is up to us as a club. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
There you go. And then what you have to break it down with is, I'm looking at this club and I'm thinking, we're smiling today, yeah. Next week, next week, it'll be nuts. Next week we got RB Leipzig and can you imagine? So as I'm smiling, laughing today, title race. Next week it could be Europa League and the madness.
Europa League and Man City, I know. And so, Man City have just hit form as well.
Fine margins, But then I want to enjoy it. You know, when people are like, "Oh, KG man, is he back to being Ollie in?" Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I miss being that reckless and that silly. But I just gotta stay here now, innit? Because I said this is where I'm at. But I want to.
Alex, just quickly before I come to you, M.A says, if the whole league has been inconsistent, why does that not apply to us? What kind of logic is this? If anything, we're one of the 2 teams that should be way off top because of how deep last season went. And also, you got to look at this stat that's going around of like the amount of points we've taken since Bruno's come with the game in the back pocket. Like we've been the best team. Like that is fact.
Flex.
We've got the highest.
Flex. Did you just say what?
I'm just saying.
A quick question.
Hold on one sec. I'm just saying. Let me just put my disclaimer out there. All I'm doing is reporting on the news. Yeah, and the news says that since January when Bruno came in, we have taken the 2nd most points from home and away games up till this day. And then we've gone on one day. So add that in. Plus the game. If we win the game, this is where I will talk about the game in hand. If we win the game in hand, we would have taken more points than the champions Liverpool from when Bruno came in, which is when we started, to now. Like, we can't ask for better than that, can we?
Can I interject?
We need to play away every week. That's it. Forget playing games at Old Trafford. Let's just play away.
Flex, you had that. There was 2 stats of that. One was the one that you said, but that was since the January transfer window opened. But before this game, as soon as Bruno signed, we were top anyway. We have the highest average points total since Bruno's come in of any team in the league. So that includes Liverpool as well.
Are we going to win the league then?
Easily. What are you talking about?
I'm joking.
The thing is though, we're so inconsistent, and with this it's obviously amazing that 5 games in a row that we've let the team score first, and then we suddenly started playing and end up winning. But eventually, I thought it would be today. Eventually, it will catch up with us. Keep doing it. We need to, in these games, think how much better we'd be if we score first and then they actually have to come at us, and then we can just ruin them on the counter that way rather than having to.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true.
Because if we get an early goal against any team, and like I said earlier, if any team gives us any sort of amount of space behind us, I think we can ruin any team in the world. You saw like the like sort of goals. Like we have City next week. I think. Although don't clip this up again. City are a team that are like tailor-made for this current United team. When we used to play them, I used to fear them a lot, but now how we play against City, they always seem to come at us, and then we just hit them on the break, and it works every time.
We've done well against them recently.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have done really well against them. Before I'll bring Junior in again. 2 things. Well, let me get these super chats out. Cruz says we're in the top 4 race. Liverpool are thinking next week. And Liam says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the most consistent manager at being inconsistent. And I love it. Stress levels at the max for 60 minutes, then buzzing within 5. That's exactly what it is, because I'm not going to lie. Even when Bruno was on, that first 10 minutes of the second half, I was still thinking, there's no way we're going to win this game. Like, I can't see it. We're not playing well enough. And West Ham looked the more likely. Shady says, last season, you can't deny that we would have lost the game today. And that game against Southampton, that, in my opinion, is the definition of progress. George says, don't let Ollie take any credit for this. Was inspired by individual brilliance. And another game where Bruno has saved Ollie. Just imagine if we had Poch Jr. nailed in his head.
Ollie was the one that signed Bruno, though, and Poch signed Lo Celso over signing Bruno. So there you go to counter that.
Exactly what Poch won. Nothing, man. Nothing.
Enzo Hunter says KG hit the bomb for the number #21.
That's a bit nuts, though. That's a bit early. That's more reckless than I am. Like, I wanna be with. Do you know what's mad here, Flex? I want to lose my stuff and go crazy and just say we can do anything. But I'm trying to be pragmatic, bro.
It's what Alex said. I agree with what Alex said. Look, at the end of the day, you have to put this into context. Mm-hmm. You can't keep playing that badly and keep trying to get away with it. It's great. We're enjoying the moment as fans because we're emotionally consumed. Yeah. Especially when the game's on, it's like I'm going mad. When we score, I'm like, what a goal, Pogba. Then the second goal, I'm like, wow, 2-1, what a goal. And then we finish off the game, I'm gassed. But you have to then go, this is happening too often now. You can't keep getting away with that. And what I did want to ask is about Mason Greenwood, actually. Junior, we'll start with you, then go to Kev. Is he coming into form, and should he be playing centrally?
I don't know. see with Greenwood and Rashford and Martial, yeah, right. The thing is with those three, I think we've got three players that are all strikers. We've got nobody from the wings creating any chances for the striker. So when you play all three of them, you can see when they're going down the wing, they're looking to shoot both sides. They're not looking to create for either one of it. It's a lot of greed. It's greedy. A lot of it is. You know what I mean? Which makes it very difficult. That's why we always look at our strikers always starved of chances, because they're not creating for each other. They're looking to finish chances, not create for one another. So it doesn't matter who you play down the middle, you're going to have the same problem. You know what I mean?
Kev, is that because we don't have, out of those players that we're talking about in Greenwood, Martial and Rashford, I know Cavani is a specialist number 9, but is it because none of them really, Greenwood would kind of push him towards the number 9, but we still kind of don't know yet, but it looks that way. Is it that? Is it because there's not a lot of specialists there?
Yeah, I think that's a good point you've just made there about the fact of we've got this width, but they are all players that really want to play the number 9 role, but they're being thrown out on the wings because it's like, well, no, you're not actually good enough to hold that number 9 role yourself. You think back to the days when we played a traditional 4-4-2, let's say in that great season, the 99 season, we had the likes of Beckham and Giggs on the other side. You know, you had Gary Neville, you know, overlapping runs and that. And we literally, it was straight down the wings to the byline, bang, great balls in. You know, you had great strikers, Cole, York, even looking ahead then, Van Nistelrooy, players that we just loved playing that role because they knew they were going to get the service. And I think we have kind of been starved of that at the minute, because these players, Mason Greenwood for me, will one day be Man United's number 9. I think the signing of Cavani, a lot of us looked at it and thought, is he a panic buy? You know, is it just typical Woodward, the Glazers? United have looked at this and thought, we don't have to pay a fee, we can get him in. Cavani, as long as we can keep him fit and use him well, will be great. And as well, them younger players will learn so much from him. Even the likes of Martial, who you wouldn't class as being young, training with him every day, Cavani, his all-round play, hold-up play, the lot, they'll learn so much from him. 100%. A bit like, I look back years ago when United signed Laurent Blanc in the latter stages of his career. We had the likes of Wes Brown, was it, John O'Shea, and I honestly think that a lot of them players stepped up when he come to the club, basically just through learning, training with him every day. Yeah. You know, we didn't see the best of him at United, but you know, as a player and a model professional, he was really good for United at that time.
I think we underestimate that as fans, the impact that we just think of the player and might say, oh, the player's past it, why are we getting them? But we don't also
There's so much more to it.
Behind the scenes, yeah. KG, I mean, with the Greenwood situation, what's your take on it? I mean, is it play him in the centre or not at all, or just it doesn't really matter on the right or up front?
So this is the thing I said, that I expect Cavani to be the number 9. And then Green will be playing understudy to Cavani. And once again, what we had with Greenwood was going through something early in the season. The England thing happened, which was bad for him then. I don't know. There's just some personal life issues happening, and he couldn't get his head down. Now, at the same time, you got to say to yourself, well, you're excited to see Rashford can put an arm around him and say, listen, I've been here. Just calm down. You are you're the main striker. Like, the coach has come out and said, out of everyone at this club, you're the best finisher. Left foot, right foot, how do you want it? And the way he took the ball down today was classy. Tellez whips one in, he kills the ball in the air, finish. Do you know what I mean?
Like Van Persie.
Doesn't that? You're gone. What are you saying?
I said he was like Van Persie, you know, where he just takes it down, whang, bang.
Because that finish there, that wasn't even like Tellez whipped it in and put it on a plate for him.
No, he had so much
he's just fizzed it in at him, and he's had to kill it dead, one touch hit.
But he looked, again, when that Champions League game, I said, he looks different. The runs that he's making now, and one thing that he can we can give it to Ollie and comment to him to say, well done for, is the way the team, they alternate in terms of who's playing up front. So I don't know if you noticed today, Cavani was actually wide at certain times, out on the left, and they're swapping positions. So I don't think our strikers are static in any way or shape or form. And I know you lot are talking about creating and scoring, but I like the selfishness in the stage. But then I also like Rashford, because Rashford can whip a ball in and he will create for whoever. If you look at his assist stats, they're up there and they keep climbing week in, week out. He'll look to play that ball. I think sometimes we've been guilty of trying to assist too much. Like Bruno, let's say he took his opportunities the other day instead of just dinking it down for Cavani. We're through. We're not even talking about this PSG anymore. So I think we need to start scoring the ugly goals. Yeah. We need to, if we can continuously start to do that, anything can happen. This season is a crazy season.
That's the issue with all three of the, apart from Cavani, that Ollie always said that he wants them to score these scrappy goals, and it's just they're all three individually brilliant, but they just don't seem to have that movement to just be in the right position at the right time to score those scrappy goals like a Cavani or like players like in that ilk would.
Yeah,
which is so frustrating because if all three of them, if they sort their movement out and get like better movement, they would be absolutely unplayable.
Well, is that the point? Is that the point that I've been trying to say with Ollie? That all the goals we seem to score, even today's game, right? It wasn't tactics what made us come back. It was the players he brought on, and it's not the style of play that makes us win games. It's the players he picks. This is what I'm saying about Ollie as a coach. He's not a coach. He's not a good coach. I'm not saying he's not a coach. He's not that level of coach where he can make tactical changes within a game to say change the style of play or some, okay, even a Mourinho, right? And I hated Mourinho. Everybody knows I hated Mourinho, but he can score a goal and go on an attack. Then as soon as we've gone 2 goals up, he can shut the game off dead. And you can see a big difference in the style of play. With Ollie, he doesn't change the style of play. He changes the players, the personnel. And this is what I'm on about with Ollie. It's the individual brilliance that brings us back into games.
But at the same time, though, yeah, because In said something like this, reminiscent to this, yeah. He said something like, I could do what Ollie's doing. Yeah. And you're like, oh, but then he finished where he finished last season. That's a fact. We can't even take that away from that. That happened.
Yeah, but did we all say that was down to Bruno Fernandes, though? Again, that's another player.
I agree with you, but we all need players. So then we had so let's say we had that moment. Let's say hold on, I'm trying to get this right. So semi-finals, all the semi-finals. Then in the group of death, what they wanted to call it, we are still right in there. Yeah, we could finish first, and then we're fourth in the Premier League. For someone that doesn't know what he's doing, he's getting a lot right. Okay. But my answer to that, right? Every time we win a game, we never say that the team played well. We always say that this player changed it. We've never said that was a team performance or not. There's not been a game where we've won where we've said it was a team performance. Last week,
Leipzig,
when we came back and beat Southampton, even Leipzig.
No, but that was a weird game, though. That was
everybody came on. It changed again last week against Southampton. Cavani today, Bruno. It's always been like that.
I'll say this.
Was a good performance.
When we come to Kev, I'll say this because we've got to close out the show, and there's about 5 minutes left, and I want you all to kind of have your closeout set. But I will say this: I can see what Junior kind of means in terms of like our stuff has not been sustainable. It hasn't because we've been inconsistent. So really, we are in these good moments in games where something happens, a bit of magic, a bit of individual brilliance, but it isn't sustainable from minute 1 to minute 90. And I know the argument counter to that would be who dominates a game for 90 minutes. The other team's always going to have a little bit. I get that. But I do see that from us that like all of a sudden, because you know how I know that is kind of true? Because for large periods, it can look like nothing's happening. And then, where did that come from? It's not like when you see like a Liverpool, I only keep saying Liverpool because let's face it, that's the benchmarks where we want to get to. And I'm not saying we have to get to that like only playing like them, but I'm just saying they can camp teams in and do it consistently make chances. I see that argument, but
building the pressure,
But Junior, this is where I have to kind of take a step back because I see that. But whilst you're fourth in the league with the back pocket thing, whilst everyone else is inconsistent, just like we are. It's like, well, what really is there or thereabouts? Whether it's going to be sustainable for the next 4 years, I understand that. Whether it's going to be sustainable for the next 2 years, I understand that. But last year, he finished third, which was the best he could do. This year, after a shit start, we're up there. Like, you can't really, you know what I mean? But we'll go to the closing kind of statements. Kev.
Super chats.
Yeah, all right, super chats. So Tionda says, people say Ollie can't get the best out of the players. What did Poch win with Son, Kane, Mora?
Exactly.
No tactics. He's the one to decide whom to bring on. M. Dot says, actually, when Rashford plays up front, he's good at making runs, needs to work on his timing, but the only reason he sucks at centre forward is because of the hold-up play. Ethan says, man marking for zonal marking. Wan-Bissaka saves us so many times first half. We haven't even spoke about that stupid zonal marking. The pressing is poor, is half effort all the time. Tactics are poor. Adeoli says, top managers almost never change their tactics. They sub in players and hope. Those coaches almost never change their formations. Bruno is our best player, and he needs to offer that spark to basically keep Ollie in the job. And the last one, this is from Chachana. Man, seriously, we had best tactical coaches in LVG and Mourinho, but the fans wanted flair. Now we are crying about tactics. We are clueless. We are as clueless as our managers. Then basically saying we got it. Kev, give us your kind of closing kind of thoughts, and do you think Leipzig can go through?
What, just in general?
Yeah, your closing thoughts on kind of where we were just at with that convo, and then finish off with, do you think we're going to win Tuesday night?
It's been a mad week. It's going to be a mad season, as we've all agreed. If you'd have asked me at the start of the season, after what are we on, 9-10 games, we'll be ahead of Man City. I've said this so many times, you'd have been like, yeah, and that just shows how crazy it is at the minute. I'm Solskjaer in. I want to see it work. I want to give him a bit more time, at least till the end of this season, get his players in. At the end of the day, he's still clearing Deadwood out of Man United. We've got Phil Jones on 150 grand a week, polishing his pink boots. Do you know what I mean? There's players like that we need to get rid of. And Solskjaer's done a really good job of clearing decks, getting the players that he wants in and the players that he can trust. So I do believe it will be a good season. Last season, we were the nearly men. Semi-finals, FA Cups, Europa League and that. This season, hopefully, we can go one further. The way I see it, we're finishing top 4 and hopefully a trophy. Thank you.
Ultimately, I can kind of see why people would be negative on Ollie, but if you put yourself in the board's position, like we just touched on, since Bruno came in, we've got more points than any team in the league. They say about all this Liverpool team and this City team like being like arguably the best ever Premier League teams, yet we're doing better since we just made that one signing. So you have to ultimately give him time. We need to just go one further than all the semi-finals last season. I mean, it was brilliant to get to the semi-finals, but like Kev said, we need to win a trophy. And like I said, we need to score first, because eventually that is going to catch up with us letting teams score first and then having to chase a game.
Are we going to beat Leipzig?
Yeah, easy. Because I actually do think Leipzig and City.
I don't think it'll be easy.
Not easy, but Leipzig need a win, so they have to come at us. So, like I said before, we do better against teams that attack us, and likewise with City.
Dare I come to Junior? Closing statement, Junior, and are we going to beat Leipzig?
Hopefully. I'm not going to say definitely. I hope we do. With Solskjaer, again, it's down to his team selection, isn't it? This is the thing. We just don't know who he's going to pick. Right. I ask any of you four now, right? Have you got any idea who he's going to pick and what formation we're going to play?
3 at the back, I reckon.
Well, injuries will have
there you go.
Play, but again, yeah, I know what you mean. But do you know the horrible thing about this is now, if we hadn't fannied around against Istanbul, if we'd have got the job done there now, we'd have been qualified.
Even a draw.
Now we're going to have to play a full strength team against Leipzig, go away, and then we've got Man City next game. Man City have already qualified. They'll be able to rest players for their final game and go in fully strength against us. So it would have been nice to have got it done.
And this is where Ollie steps up and wins both games in a week.
Exactly, that's the man.
And I think this is what I'm on about.
See, Flex, this is what I was on about. You see, we don't know what team he's going to pick on Tuesday or Wednesday, which one can't remember. I haven't looked yet, right? But this is my point. Against Istanbul, he completely changed the team. Now, me, if I was managing Man United, which would never happen, but if I was, I'd have picked my best team.
Thanks for letting us know.
I'd have picked my best team first, kill the game, then bring off your players.
That makes
he
sense.
Seems to change. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
He just
if we win, it's the players. If we lose, it's Ollie's fault. Why? He contributes to the result we get, win or lose. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And the last super chat. Okay, yeah, we've gone over. Right, KG, here we go. What's your closing statement?
Flex, I'm just going to say it right now. I've been living the life, bro.
He's only in. He's only in.
And I'm back. I can't hold it in no more, Flex. I'm back. I can't take it no more. I'm back here.
And you know what I know about you? I know what you've done, yeah? This is what you've done. Because KG's been, when KG goes quiet for about 3 or 4 minutes, what he's doing is he's taking in all the information. And what he's done, he's gone, you know what?
No.
Look at all the points we've got. Look at where we are in the league. How blood out? Let me cut. That's what you've done. You're a loser. You're actually a loser.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah? I just want to enjoy it, bro. And I'm just gonna, if my heart gets broken, it's gonna get broken. I don't care, bro. You know I've been humming it. I've been humming the songs. I've been humming.
KG the politician.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna leave on that. KG is now gone back into the Ollie in cap. But you know what I wish? I wish that Ollie could see people like you. I hope he watches. I hope Ollie watches and has seen what you've done, and I hope he just doesn't rate you. That's what I hope. Guys, we go again Tuesday night, I believe. Tuesday night, big game. It's basically a cup final, but we're allowed even a draw to be able to win the cup, even though it's not, if you get what I'm saying. It's a massive game.
Right.
The pressure is on. Actually, wait, 1 second, really quickly. Just give me the one player answer. KG, man the match.
Rashford.
Alex.
Wan-Bissaka.
Kev.
Rashford.
Junior.
Rashford and Wan-Bissaka.
One word answer.
I'm going to go Matter because everyone says he's washed up and passed it. Just to do that, guys. We'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Smash the like on the video if you're new and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And we will.